Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again here now to the DreamHack Malmö closed qualifiers for North America. We're moving into our round of 8 matches here now. We just completed the round of 16, or we're pretty much complete, I should say, with the round of 16. One second here. There we go. I guess there's some volume now. Yeah, so we're pretty much complete with the round of 16 now. I think just there's maybe like one more map that still needs to be played out. However, we covered the Flamingos map and they took on Mouse Spaz, went to all 3 maps. It was actually a pretty good third map. There was some pretty crazy rounds. If you have a chance to watch that back later, especially off the hands of some Mouse Spaz players. I think we had a 1v5 followed by a 1v3 the round after it, so it was pretty interesting. However, at the end of it, Mouse Spaz did win 2-1, so they're moving forward into their round of 8. This was seemingly though the most interesting round of 8 match, so we're gonna hop over and check out this one. It's Renegades taking on Denial eSports, and it's gonna be starting off here on Overpass. Let's not waste any time. Let's jump directly into it here now. As the Renegades are going to be starting off on the CT side, and Denial will jump over onto the T side. Initial strats. Let's take a look and see how Denial is going to face this off on their T side now. Pretty much just a straight shot through excuse me, not underpass. Just a straight shot through the lower tunnels and then up into the connector right at the start here, and then quickly into short A. Now the follow up on this one. Probably not going to be much to be seen, at least until Denial gets up to the bomb site itself. The Renegades are focusing much more on the sites. You can see even down towards B, they have focused mainly on just defending the backside of it and looking for sort of their retake positions and quick rotates as a follow-up upon that, obviously into the A-bomb site. Now that they do see it as a full 5-man push, well, in come the cavalry. Great flash against those CTs. At least 3 got hit by that one flashbang, so Toy's able to move in. He picks up the first and second kills for his team. Yustillo trading one back, but then Flowsick moves in. Also picks up Azur. JKS with one more kill, but Flowsick closes out. Takes down that one more, and then allows for Denial to go up 1-0. I believe that's Flowsick. Let me just double check really quickly. Right? Or is that... Oh, I've been very confused. I'm 90% sure that's Flowsick. Someone has to correct me if I'm wrong. The Steam name check trick didn't do as well. I don't know if he's actually changed his name to Floki or not, which is why I'm a little bit confused. But like I said, I'm about 90% sure that's Flowsick. But anyway, into the second round. Pretty much just a full-on save for the Renegades. Not expecting much to happen here. I think they snuck 1 kill off onto Flowsick. But that's about it. Quick second round for Denial. And that round took about 15 seconds total. So moving very quickly through the motions here as we try to get towards that first gun round. Renegades really, as well, you know, normally at least, you'd see at least a little bit of investment, but Renegades doesn't buy anything at all. It's the same on this round. So they're basically just giving up the next 2 rounds, not even trying to upset it. And let's see if they try to play as aggressively as they did in the last round again, or if they're actually going to try to set up for something this time. It's still looking like just kind of an all-in towards B. However, at the very least this time, it is seeming like they're trying to set up for a defense instead of just throw themselves away. So last round, just a bit of an unfortunate turn of events that they didn't get any kills at all in the close quarters combat, but now they are actually looking to do something. Unfortunately, it's on a round where they just have USPs, so there's the big old trade-off right there. And they inevitably wait, essentially, for Denial to come in and execute. They have the intel for sure that this is an A hit. Otherwise, they wouldn't have full rotated over in this direction. The big problem is going to be that, well, they still aren't going to be able to line up a whole lot to get done here. As well as you can see, it's pretty quickly being shut down by Denial. Although, he's doing a little bit of damage towards the end of it here. JKS and Yustillo both finding kills, so a tad bit of damage. Doesn't mean much, though, in the last round when as smooth as it does, as they can very easily rebuy into that. With no repercussions, at least as of yet. And this does build up enough money, I'm going to say at least enough for now, to where they should be able to force again into the next round. There's definitely going to be some sacrifices made, but Denial are safe if Renegades win this next gun round. Especially if Denial saves with 1 or 2 players, as you may often see on this map. It's a very common thing. Where a T is going to end up in a situation where the round is a lost cause and he does have plenty of free reign to kind of bail out. So a lot slower this time for Denial, though, on the opener. Previous rounds, they've been going straight forward, obviously since they had the advantage. Even on the pistol, though, they went straight forward to line up right over here towards the A-bomb site primarily. This time, though, they're taking a lot more reserved, assuming that the CT side would try to push out more. And they're correct to assume that, especially over here towards construction. We've seen Nexa move in this direction to try and hide behind the sandbags there and have a little bit of an edge if they go down connector. That still may be a thing that could happen here. But in addition to that, we have Ustillo pushed out to the bathrooms. They have not gone super far out, though, so Ustillo's not going to have great intel about this wrap going downstairs. And since we last looked at it, too, JKS just got a nice spot. So I was about to say they didn't really have great intel, and this site take could be a surprise, but now they should know all about it. And in a moment here, yeah, Azur's already rotated down, so this is good positioning for the Renegades currently. Ustillo in a second, too, is going to be able to line up for the flank back through the connector itself. And, well, now as they move in here, we can see a few of the Denial players trying to lurk their way back in. Nexa sneaking out a kill from on top, and then back down below gets a second one. Nicely found. Goodbye to most of Denial's assets here, as they have gotten into the site. Well, they've got the bomb planted, but they've done very little damage here. And it's all down to XP3 at the end of the day, who gets pushed off of the site. Nifty, well, really shouldn't have a problem with just sticking that defuse, to be completely honest. As JKS is going to sit there and just defend against it. Yep, down goes XP3. And the Renegades will get their first run up onto the board on the first gun round there after losing at the pistol and not really throwing too much at rounds 2 and 3, so we kind of expect them to lose those two. But it's here on the first gun round where they strike first. And they do so in a very prominent way that now threatens to immediately break Denial here. Apologies for my gaps in between here. I'm still trying to figure out who's who on the Denial team since there's some name changes and I know the roster's shifted around a little bit. I believe Lol is a Rico. I could be wrong, though. Let me double check him. Let's see. Yeah, that's Rico. Okay, cool. Just making sure I had everybody's names down right. But nice shots from Nifty. The boost up on the second wall over on the other side of the bathrooms, and it's the flick shot to take down Rico. Goodbye to him. Flowsick, in the meantime, also got shot pretty low, down to 28 HP. So he's going to have to play very passively now for the rest of the round, or just lead the charge and basically be the intel guy when they actually go for the take here. They're still looking like they're being really straightforward with their hits, though. We have like one lurker downstairs as Toy's trying to play around the B-bomb set a little bit. Besides that, it's just a straightforward push towards A right now. And that could be a big problem for Denial if they continue to play that way, going later and later into the half, and they don't try to do any fakes or anything like that, which you really need to do on this map. Straightforward playstyle is going to be read very quickly and very easily. Great stuff from Dapahar there as he takes down Azur through the smoke. Next to the with the trade taking down Toy, and that's the lurk gone from the B-bomb site. And in a moment here, Nexa should be giving out the signal for JKS to rotate all the way up top, but that may not even be needed, as he still has already found one more kill against Dapper. And now it's just Flowsick. Renegades are in the U.S., yes. They are technically an NA team, as they do play and practice in this region. Well, I say technically. They play in the NA region. They are technically an Australian team, would probably be the more appropriate term. And Nexa finally does hunt down Flowsick there, so no saves for Denial coming out of that round. Now they're going to be, they should be completely broken. And forced into, at the very least, a half by here, unless they kind of just want to go for it to try and keep their lead. Yeah, that's going to be the case. So PT50s, Tech 9s, Flowsick was the lowest, so he can't buy anything at all. And for the Renegades, well, they're in a pretty good patch right now, actually. So some good chances to build up money on their own end here and make sure that they keep that lead, which they're about to tie for, assuming that they win out this round. But that has a little bit of firepower, so especially with how many eco-ups as we were seeing in the last set, we don't necessarily want to count that as a non-factor here. Especially with those two Tech 9s. Well, that'll be nice and slow, and more importantly, quiet from Denial here in the first 30 seconds or so of the round, as they're not trying to give away too much. Toy still being that kind of noisy player down towards B, trying to throw the action in one direction. However, most of the team, including now Toy, is back up on top, but a missed op shot from Nifty. Somehow he's still alive, though, with 43 HP, too. Is able to recover and take down XP3. Ustillo with this beautiful lineup and gets 4 kills in a row. Toy escapes with one more frag against Azur, but that's it. And there you have it now, a tie game of 3-3 with Denial about to lose their lead if they cannot come back on this next gun round. Denial looking like they are going to change up the game plan a little bit. It is still a straightforward take, but the game plan is going to be delayed due to that molly there. I think they wanted to quickly split 3-2 and try to work their way down over into the B bomb site, but not going to happen. Nifty, in the meantime, having a little bit of trouble controlling the connector, but thankfully, him and the rest of his team will still have plenty of utility to delay things in that connector itself. So XP3 is going to be wasted away here, and, well, surprisingly, Ustillo, either they didn't realize that XP3 was still down here, Ustillo didn't actually want to go drop the ladder itself, but this is still a monstrous flank, regardless of its outcome, that Ustillo can now use. As in a moment here, he's going to walk right up on the bomb if it's not paying attention to him. And there you go. Toy dead to the ground. That's the bomb. And they were just about to execute again, too. So he can molly off the alt tunnel. And I think he covered the whole thing. With a little bit of an awkward angle. Yeah, there's still actually a little bit of room for the T's to push out. So they're going to flash him. He's trying to hold on. Gets one more kill. Goes for the second. He goes down, but Nex is now here. Pushed out from Monster. Takes the place of his now fallen teammate. And is able to keep holding control of the bomb. Which is Flowsick and Rico left in the match. And really not a whole lot of room for them to actually recover that bomb now that they've completely set up around it. It's not just Nexa anymore. Azar also pushed out for Monster. So they have to try and just take game duels for days over here at the edge of this alt tunnel. They win one, though, taking down Azar. The problem is one falls, another shall take his place. And at this point in time, it's going to be JKS that'll do that. So more on the way out. They still know Nex is here. Now they're adjusting, though, but JKS, another double-player lineup spray for him as he takes down Flowsick and Rico to end the round in their favor, 4-3. Granted, not the cleanest round for the Renegades. As we talk about positives and negatives here for a second. Round definitely could have gone a little bit cleaner with the way that they had control over the bomb and the rest of that round, but still, they take control of it, and they're going to put Denial down into an eco anyway, so those extra losses can be recovered in this next round here, since Denial's not going to be putting up much of a fight besides those upgraded pistols, and not even everybody has armor either. Only 2 players were able to afford armor this time. Azar into that fight, but he has second thoughts on it, considering the amount of players that are inside. Did dink Dapper down to 7 HP, and Rico as well, elsewhere on the map, was brought down to 39. He's eventually going to give up his pursuit of the connector, though, as they do need to focus on the site again. So very weighed-out aggression, and oh, nicely found from Toy, but just as nice of a response from Nifty. He does get a little bit of work done with the Deagle there. And now another flank is on its way forward. What I really want to take a look at here is what's going on right outside of the bathrooms. Azar, sitting just inches away from one of his opponents, is going to try to push up. He hasn't seen XP3's shoulder yet, I don't think. But he's not wanting to give himself away either. Waits for the perfect moment and finally strikes. And it's not seeming like any of the T's are having better luck of trying to get onto the site themselves here, as it is just turning into a quick shutdown. It was a little bit dodgy at first there. Denial definitely finding a bit of ground. However, at the end of the day, only Rico's left alive, who somehow got all the way over here inside of the inside of the site connector halls. And now snuck a kill off on JKS and has got an AK to play with 12 HP, though, and only 20 seconds remaining. But the Renegades don't necessarily need to hunt this man down to the end of the earth. That's not a huge deal, because they're going to buy in the next round anyway. And they're still looking to try and build up their money, so they'll just carefully creep around and eventually find him to eliminate him and put a fifth, right? Yeah, 5th round on the board here for Renegades as they're up 5-3. And Denial is still working to recover after they had that initial pistol round in the following 2 rounds, but have not been able to strike since. So this is turning into quite a big streak for the Renegades, too. They can keep this going. Denial also now on full losing bonus since we have hit the 5-round streak point. But for Rico, his patience will pay off as he opens things up right inside of the alt tunnel, taking down Nifty. Nifty, though, I just noticed that was actually Nifty that also got that trade kill. I thought that happened somewhere else, but apparently not. He snuck off a kill onto Dapper right before he got shot in the face by Rico. So some pretty good stuff from Nifty, actually, to hit that and actually still have it registered, too, because it looked like he was dead the second he peeked. At the very least, making the best of a bad situation. For Denial here, though, they're now going to move in for the execute onto this site. And so far, it's going okay. Nexa getting 1 kill, but being dinked and immediately taken down by the second player here. Toy also trying to wait on a flank, but Azar says no to that and brings it back down into a 2v2. Ustillo, unfortunately, is not going to have much luck as he's dispatched by XP3. So everything is left to Azar to clutch out now in a 1v2 situation. He was just mollied back over here at construction. There's not a smoke for them to use here, but they do have flashbangs, and one's going to go right into his face, delaying things even further. Azar has quite a bit of utility, too, but he's not using any of it just yet. He made now as he's getting closer to the site, but he's going to have to try and do that. However, all three of those very useful nades just go completely by the wayside. Rico takes him down with some on-point headshot work. Currently tied with Dapper for top fragging on Denial there. And it has brought them back to within just 1 round's grasp of the scoreline of the Renegades here. And also 1 round away from potentially breaking the Renegades too when you take a look at their money on the left side. Work goes away right now. Denial, though, still keeping it slow. And I think the Renegades are finally starting to catch on to this. So they're getting a lot more aggressive now. Specifically towards A, where they have room to do that. You can see Nifty try to play around the playground here. And in fact, he is going to have himself a little bit of a game with XP3. First initial kill, and that's all they wanted. They're already falling back to now the bathroom connector. And just getting themselves outside of that position, since they don't want to risk now being traded, which is the smart thing to do here. For Denial, though, still keeping to the same pace, not panicking yet. They are starting to move in to the bathroom connector itself with a 2-man team of Rico and Dapper to see if they can trade that at all. However, that's probably not going to happen, at least not until they start to move in to execute onto A. And again, it's only Toy trying to essentially be the taco of this map and lurk on his own down here. May or may not work. He hasn't been spotted just yet. If he gets these kills, though, it's a very big deal. There's one, and the second. Nicely done for Toy. And now they can completely call off the A hit. You can see they were just about to execute. And what's even better is Rico's still here. Now, he gets taken down. And oh, what's even worse, though, is that just before they were about to arrive to the site, Toy was knocked out by Azur. They're still going to go for this, but they don't have the site 100% secured anymore. And there we go. Azur denies the initial attempt at a plant. Dapper does trade, but he's alone in a 1v2, and he only has 14 seconds to plant. That's going to be his first focus, though, and the Renegades won't even be given an opportunity to deny that. However, they are given a lot of opportunity to get out into the open, but Dapper doesn't care. Gets one, and now only one more to go. Trades out to the new AK sitting on the ground. Nifty, in the meantime, shifted his position over here towards the pit, and is looking to push against Dapper, but Dapper's ready to take this fight. Way back in the corner. Nifty has to be the one to engage it here, as Dapper's not going to jump out and take that. And Nifty can't even seem to figure out where exactly Dapper went, so he's just going to stick the defuse here. Dapper sees it, though, pushes up, and closes out on the round in beautiful fashion for Denial. That's going to tie it back up at 5-5. And just like that, Renegades are also going to find themselves on a very weak buy. 3 Deagles, 2 USPs, so no investment at all for JKS and Nexa. And Denial knows this. Flow6 going to have some fun with a MAC-10 on this round. And he's just going to rush right into that B-bomb set as soon as that molly's gone. Which, the timing worked out great. So in comes Flow6. Actually, some unfortunate positioning. Oh, and the kill gets stolen from him, too. Flow6. Probably a little mad about that, but it's okay. Just served as the human shield for the rest of the team as he went into the bomb site, got dinked, and then had a kill stolen from him by an HE grenade of all things, of course. But still great control being maintained, and I don't really think that Yusilo, Azur, or Nifty are going to be able to do much in terms of a retake. At best, they're going to be able to position themselves outside to look for some exits. But even then, I think that they're looking at a save again, potentially in the next round for a couple of them. So they may want to be looking to have those Deagles to the next round too, just to buy up armor behind them and have a little bit less expenditure. Oh, and Azur, well, he had his chance. That aim punch up close, that was going to be rough. Now, oh man, 0 for 2 on attempts to kill Dapper, as he just can't be taken down. And indeed, only one player remains alive at the end of it. And they full buy here anyway, so yeah, they didn't even need that second save. So I was a little unsure why they weren't getting a tad more aggressive with the Deagles. They did at the end, but they had plenty more time to take up better spots in the halls there. Anyway, back into the full buy for the Renegades as they now lose the lead here, as we're coming into some of the later rounds of the half. Just a few left here before we switch sides. And for Denial, started off a little good. They started off great for Denial with picking up the first 3 rounds. Just that 5-round streak for the Renegades really put them back down below, and now they're returning the favor with what is currently a 3-round streak of their own, in which they've now been able to take the lead back with 2. Nifty may have his opportunity to first kill here, and Toy just jumping into it. So maybe a bit of a mistake from him there. gives himself away. And that's going to put Renegades up nice and early here. Azur, however, tries to wait things out at the top of the bathroom connector. Despite his smoke being in the way, it doesn't matter. The two-man team, Dapper, along with Rico, able to work together, pushing forward there, and getting the trade kill to bring it back down to a 4v4. And Ustillo, he's been spotted too. However, he's in a bit of a safer position. Gets some decent damage out. No frags yet. Oh, tag through the wall. Thankfully, that wall is super thick. So those tags do very little damage. And oh, another flank taken down. Dapper really good at getting these kills. These are some extremely important kills that he's picking up. And now, oh, that's rough. Ustillo thought he would have flashed his opponents through that, but it doesn't seem like it affected Flowsick at all. So a lot of very aggressive mistakes from the Renegades may have just cost them this round. As the remaining 3 from Denial are going to swing downstairs to B. Currently, there's no defense set up there. JKS is going to arrive, but we'll see if he... Yeah, he actually does get out there in time to actively defend a little bit. So trades it back, brings it into a 2v2. They can still wait this out, let this go down on the plan. Nifty still has a molly to try and force at least one player out of position. But the problem is because JKS couldn't really go into the open there, they're not going to know for with 100% certainty where exactly these players are positioned. They just have to take a guess, and the guess is wrong. They molly the pit position. No one is even close to here. Both CTs, or both Ts, I should say, are playing very far back, and one's already struck. It's XP3 killing Nifty, and JKS giving himself away. The fact that he's a toxic, well, he might as well be dead now. He's going to deal with a cross spray. Gets one. Actually, Dapper doesn't immediately move in to trade that. Now this is coming down to a time battle, though. There is a kit somewhere on the ground here. JKS needs to get this kill right now. He gets it, but he needs to find that kit to be able to defuse this, and he can't find it, so he is going to run out of time. And with that said, oh, doesn't even make it out of the sight in time either, so that op goes down to the ground. Denial get the best out of what was a kind of an okay situation for them, I suppose. Win it out on the timer and killing out their final opponent there. So nicely played, and they get to keep their lead going and force the Renegades onto another eco round. And it's very similar to eco rounds that we've seen before from the Renegades. Just a few deagles and P250s. JKS. There we go. There's one. There's two. There's a third. Not going to find that one, but Flowsick does trade both of those kills back. Lost Rico and Dapper, but he also took down JKS and Nexa as a result of that one. And now the remaining 3 trying to surround Denial here if they can within that site. Definitely going to want to try and fight this. Azur, oh, just not having any luck with that, his deagle. Nifty, maybe? No, XP3 holds on. With 1 HP at the end of the round, he does survive. They don't even need the plant there. They just get it after the round ends. But Denial does give themselves an 8th here, as they are soaring on this T side, well past the Renegades. As they finally will get themselves another bye round too. However, things have not been looking too great. Should be noted, by the way, this is the Denial map pick. So they definitely had confidence coming into this map. That was to be expected. The second map is going to be over on Cache. And that is a Renegades pick. However, Cache is a map where, in this region at least, any team can steal it off of any other team, in my opinion. Except for a very small amount of exceptions. So I would not necessarily say Renegades would be safe to take it to a map 3 if Denial continues in this path and actually takes this first map. There's a very real chance that this could go 2-0 Denial if they win this map here. Which is very surprising, considering that Renegades seem to be doing so well as of late. But anyway, JKS, Toy, JKS again, and now Rico finding that entry, clears out the site for Denial. And despite the fact that it ends evenly here, the positioning is still going to be okay for Denial right now. They still... Oh, unfortunately, that goes away, though, with Toy lurking out a little bit too far to that alt tunnel and finding he's still up. Now the CTs have a bit of an edge, but that's going to go away immediately due to the hands of XP3. Does miss the secondary shot. They know he's hiding out by the pole somewhere, and so is Rico here. His final 2 trying to close the gap, but they spent too much time setting up for the retake last time. Now they need to move in and actually take action, and there's 1 and 2 kills, both picked up by Ustillo. That was that decisive action we needed to see, and that will allow for the Renegades to finally get another round here. 6-8 is going to be the scoreline. Don't worry about this timer. They've got plenty of it left over in order to get that defuse, and there you go. So the 15th round, and Denial does look like they had enough. So one more full buy for them. And obviously the Renegades will be okay. Since this is the last round, they are going to spend everything. And we'll see if Denial continues to go for this straightforward style here. Last couple of rounds, they kind of went back to it after it was initially failing when Renegades went on their round streak. Oh, perfect timing on the door pop, though. That's going to find Dapper's shoulder right out in the open, and Nifty clip it, giving them the initial kill. Nifty's still kind of in enemy territory, though, so he needs to escape here. They've got a lot of guys in those positions here, and Nifty tries to fire back at that spray. You could see him taking damage from that one, and almost the reconnection from the op, which would have been awesome to see. However, not this time. And in the meantime, the rest of Denial are pushing themselves out through A-Long, getting ready to push forward. There's XP3 again doing some work with the op. He's found Ustillo this time. But that also reveals their intentions over here towards A-Long, with him having the op in that position. So the Renegades will start to shift their own players. And Denial sits back for a moment, contemplates how they want to play this. Not committing either way just yet, but it is looking like they are going to follow through onto A. Just wanted to change up the positioning a little bit here so that they could have a few pushing out from short instead of just an all-in at long, which is very, very risky. At the moment, it is JKS and Nifty defending, with Azur also available in a second here, and he's going to arrive about 5 seconds before the actual execute comes in, so he has plenty of time to prep himself. Smokes moving back in. That's going to force Azur up by semi, and they lost JKS right at the start. Nifty getting one. Azur, the second he peeks, he's a dead man, and now it's just Nifty to defend. So far, the only man that's been able to get kills in this team, and it's going to continue to stay that way as he gets a third, now a fourth. Let's see if he can go for the ace, and there it is from Nifty. 5 kills back to back to back to back to back as he ends out the half for his team, 7-8. Nicely played from Nifty. And so that will keep the Renegades nice and close on the scoreline as we do switch sides here. Now Denial get their chance to play over here on the CT side, whereas Renegades will get the mount up on the T side, and we'll see if they're going to fare any better here. A little bit rough for Renegades. They had that, they had the 5-round streak, which was great. And then the 2 separated rounds, the one at the end, obviously from Nifty, huge stuff from him, and then the one more, I kind of forget where exactly that one happened, but it was obviously, it was kind of in like the last quarter of the half itself, I believe. But other than that, Denial was in pretty good control. They got the pistol, they got the follow-up 2 rounds, they had a good like 3-4 round streak of their own. And that's coming off T side. So at the moment, Denial's still looking okay, despite losing out that last round here. Now, if they lose the pistol, this is where things will start to shift in the other direction, and that's where Renegades can start to move in and actually take really good control here. Control which may be able to be maintained, I should say, actually, and not just a little bit of a spurt to try and keep the scoreline close. We are live into the pistol, and the Renegades going for just a pretty straight walk up A long. Again, similarly to the last half's pistol, where Renegades really didn't resist out in the open. It's the same thing here. Denial's just kind of hanging back on the sights, not really wanting to play it out, with the exception down towards B, where you have those couple of guys push out. And it's really good that they do have this. The problem is okay, when are they going to realize that there's nothing coming in this direction and actually fall back to join up or start working towards those flanks? Because at the moment, it's not looking like they're going to do that. We do have it finally from Rico, but he's going to be a good like 10-15 seconds behind the rest of his teammates. So we have to hope now that the defense holds strong, and it's looking like it is. Dapper already with a triple kill. Toy now getting himself a 4th. JKS wants to fight this back a little bit here, as he's found 2 kills on his own regard, but now out in the open. That flank finally comes into strike, and Denial do indeed close out, being able to keep their lead strong, 9-7, winning both pistols on this map. Relatively light second round from the Renegades here, despite not getting a plant. And they've already been spotted too. They've seen at least 3 or 4 of those players pushing through playground, so I won't be surprised if there's just a big swing of players up towards B or up towards A at any moment from the CT side. Just keeping Dapper and Flosick downstairs currently, and Flosick specifically is going to be used to flank. So he's already working himself up through T-spawn halls and whatnot. And in a moment, he'll be sitting right behind this big group of Renegades players. And this is great, too, because the Renegades is taking so long to set up that by the time they execute, Flosick should be just in a great position to move in and completely kill any chance of this actually working. They are just going to go with mob mentality here to try and flush onto the A-bomb site, only having one exception to that towards long. And XP3 should be pretty close to spotting this in a second here, as he's going back and forth. And, well, there we go. There's the Flosick flank that pretty much kills this hit. He does go down by the unfortunate circumstance of running out of ammo there in his UMP. However, Toy is able to push in, catching one more. And the only victim of that entire round is the flanker, Flosick, who, like I said, ran out of ammo and was surrounded by like 2 additional players, so didn't have much of a choice there. He was basically guaranteed to die under those conditions. So the second full save now for the Renegades. Last one before we get into their first gun run of the half. And this time they're going to split it up a little bit more here. They are trying to play with water a little bit, along with the connector this time, instead of just going straight forward into that big blob of 4 players that got completely destroyed by Flosick in the last round. And Flosick also not necessarily moving out to try and contest that immediately. Already got 1 kill though, but JKS with a casual tap on the P250 to challenge that one. I think that may be the only kill he can get currently though, as Flosick does move in for the trade there, taking him down. And now XP3 is ready for these last 2 players to push out of the bathrooms, and he'll claim the final 2 kills in the round, setting their scoreline up to 11-7 in the favor of Denial, getting into the first gun round. Renegades are going very direct in this gun round, too. This is going to be a quick, probably 3-2 split into the B-bomb site. Look at this. Already through construction. Flashbangs are a little bit delayed, but Nexa, he gets the first kill. Rico able to trade back 1, but JKS counter-trades it now and gives a little bit more room for the Renegades to push back in. But look, Rico could immediately end this round right here. The 2v3 now down to a 2v2 as Rico strikes in. XP3 has things covered from up top. He's going to be able to survey a little bit for info, but they don't even need it as Rico now claims a second kill here. Up to 4, about to ace, and indeed, he'll get the ace as he claims that final kill. Massive work being done from Rico within the bomb site. He saves it for Denial and makes sure they get to keep pushing onward. 12-7 now, with just 4 more rounds to go until a map 1 victory is claimed for Denial. Be the second ace so far in this map. The other one coming out from Renegades' upper at the end of the first half. Well, the Renegades are going to push up. They actually will maybe be able to catch Toy early on here. Toy brought out his gun just in time, though, so they do recover from that one. And the initial attempts from the Renegades to push out through A-long have been utterly smited by a 3-man stack on Denial. And Denial, that's some great read into the play there. You have to give them credit for that one. A 3-man long push, you do not see that very often from the CTs. So, great read. And now XP3, well, he's just going to go out and frag here. Only gets 1, but I think he tagged a second one. And the last man alive is Azur. Denial was kind of just taking those duels in the open, so I think even they expected to take a few of those losses there on Rico and XP3 as they went down, but their money is just propelling forward. It's not at an amazing point just yet, considering these rebuys, but it is at a pretty comfortable position considering their scoreline. So I don't imagine they're focusing too much on building it up right now, but they're definitely going to want to. As the Renegades get themselves into another gun run, this is a great opportunity for them to strike back into the match. Thing is, though, is the Renegades only have really just 1, maybe a second more gun round to be seen here. Oh, nifty catching XP3. Just a little bit of a spot over top of the smoke. And he is able to see him, netting the guys from the Renegades that first kill. Denial, of course, still keeping to their standard setup here as they split the players up 2-2 now. And actually split them even more than that. Pretty much everyone is on their own right now. There's no, except for Water down at B, there really is no support system to where there can be easy trades at this point in time for Denial. And even the guys at B aren't set up amazingly for that. Tapper's kind of distracted over here, and if Flosick goes down, he could be killed from the alt tunnel. That's actually probably where he'd be killed from, and there's definitely not room for an instant trade on Dapper there. So these are very discombobulated positions on Denial, and that's a big risk to be taking when you're already a man down. So they are going to start to change that, though, especially for the B players, as they've fallen back over to the site here. And for the rest of Renegades, well, you got to hope Flowsick's ready for this, because he's going to be the big man on the table here to try and save not only his teammate, but this round. The rest of them starting to move in. Azure first up to bat, and they don't even actually have an opportunity to catch Dapper. Thankfully, Flowsick's there for 2, potentially 3 trades. Doesn't get it, but actually does get the assist on what essentially could have been his 3rd kill. Nexa team kills his own teammate there. So the bait and switch kind of works. So Flowsick technically does get 3 kills. Nexa and Nifty are now the last 2 up and running for the Renegades. And Nifty trying to hold, walls his opponent. Spotted, just you could probably see it too, just the barrel of the rifle peeking out there. It's off that he was able to wall him down. However, he still survived it with 10 HP. And now Nexa lining up 1 more kill, has left only Rico alive in this situation, and spraying out those bullets gave away his position again and allowed Nifty to once more wallbank his opponent and close out on the round there. That'll be an 8th for the Renegades. They're not done fighting just yet, but that will be their first round and their first plant in this entire half, which is not a great prospect to start off on. Getting your first plant in the 6th round and your first round too. So it took him 2 gun rounds to be able to do that. I said before, Denial didn't have an amazing amount of money built up. Definitely a healthy amount. So you can see this next rebuy coming in here from them. It's okay. It does give them, good utility, 4 M4s and a FAMAS. The real issue is, though, is that because they were losing quite a few players in skirmishes on rounds that they did have very great control over, their money's a lot lower than it necessarily could have been right now. And they really only need 1 or 2 rounds. Renegades, this is what I'm talking about now. Renegades only need 1 or 2 rounds to actually break Denial and give them that 1 or 2 free gun rounds to get back into the map. And that is not what Denial wants. Denial definitely wants the surprise first map to give them the edge here. As you definitely can know for sure that Renegades are going to kick things into gear, but when they get on the cash. Nifty. Looking for his opening kill here. The opening kill that would still be of the round. We're well over a minute into the round now, and no one's gotten a kill yet, but that's going to change here as Nexa gets a nice double. Almost burns to a Molotov, but survives at the end of the encounter. And now more starting to push their way up into the A-bomb site while Rotates move in from Denial. Rico able to hold for 1, but that's it. He goes down afterwards, and Nifty immediately countering out Flowsick on the flank. He's fallen into a pattern with that one is the issue. That was the 2nd or 3rd time he's tried to flank from that position at a very similar timing. So they're going to read into that one. And all that's left alive now is Dapper. Set up against the 1v4. Got an initial kill on Azure. However, getting anything further than this is going to be relatively tough. So he's smart about the situation. Knows he's not necessarily going to be able to win it. And does try to hunker down to keep his rifle in check and maybe get a 1 extra kill or 2. But that does not happen. He goes down after getting that first kill. And the Renegades claim themselves a 9th. Just 4 rounds behind Denial Esports now. And as I said before, after losing just 2 rounds, comparatively to Denial's 5 straight, Denial are going to be on an eco here. And it's looking like it's going to be a full eco. Nexa is Serbian, for those that are asking. Correct. He is not in Serbia, though, as the ping would suggest. Well, it's going to be another quick push up through A-long, but look at this trap that's been set here now from Denial. They do have a lot of players here. If they had guns, this would have been awesome to see this play out. However, they didn't have guns, so they were utterly wrecked in this round by the Renegades. 10-13 now. Renegades finally getting themselves up to double digits. And for Denial, well, they've lost their edge. They had a huge round advantage, and that's now gone by the wayside. This is essentially an even game here now. Nifty lining up another opening shot for himself here. XP3 being found out. Denial, unfortunately, besides just random aggression, don't seem to have much of a plan on their own ecos. And that was a problem before when they were on that losing streak. Toy. Oh, found out there by Ustillo. And again, like I said, a lot of very aggressive positions being used on Denial here on these ecos, but no actual substance to them, unfortunately. And once again, same thing from Nifty as he catches flow stick. Where did he catch him? I'll show you. 1 second. Let me find out where Nifty is. There we go. Right there on the ground, pushing out through a monster. So, and I think Rico almost just peeked it again too. He is going to peek it again. Yeah, there we go. Rico's been found now. Does commit to it. He actually had a nice lineup. So that one I'll forgive. But, but still, ultimately, Denial trying to take these aim duels or trying to push too aggressively into the open, not getting anything done on those ecos themselves, and they do lose it relatively quickly with no trades at all. I think, right, in that last round, no trades at all. Yeah, all 5 stay alive from the Renegades. So Denial get themselves onto another bye here, but this is going to be one of their last opportunities to start winning back these rounds before Renegades actually tied back up at 13-13 and then look to take the lead here, which would be a bit of a shame considering how well they started off this map. And are now kind of losing that momentum. There's XP3. Nexa is able to trade it, though. After he takes down Ustillo on the opener. It's a little bit awkward with the shuffle happening. However, the CTs are still able to spot the presence from the Ts. And despite trading back an early kill, Renegades are not going to have the confidence to push over towards the B-bomb site just yet. And now Hauser's going to have an interesting play to work towards here, as he's hugging the wall, but he has definitely not seen Toy yet. That's still a common position for CTs to play aggressively, though. Considering that Toy was found solo a lot on the T side, Azur may check for this. He's got to do it soon, though, as Nifty is getting ready to push out, maybe towards A long here. So they'd want to try and look for this. And Azur moving in. Oh, he's making all sorts of noise here now, so they have no idea. No! Nifty with the denial! Spots him at the very last moment, peeking around the corner, and stops Toy from what could have been massive damage to allow this round to basically go into Denial's hands. Now, all of a sudden, it's a 4v2. Dapper and Rico, the last two alive, both are separated as well. Dapper downstairs playing in the pit by the B-bomb site, and Rico up on top, playing towards the A site. Renegades are finally going to commit themselves to a push with only 25 seconds left on the clock. Dapper tries to hold as best he can, but not much gets done. The molly will go on the ground. It's a bit of a last-minute thought, though, and really all it's done is reveal where Rico is at, so that the guys from the Renegades can try to move in and hunt him down. Rico holds for 1. Still more to be found, however, as they've already worked on flanking away from him, and JKS waits for the perfect timing to peep up from the flower pot, knock out the last guy alive, prevent that save, and now put themselves within just 1 round away of tying up against Denial, and I think this is the appropriate time for a pause from Denial here, as this has turned into just as long of a streak that Denial had at the start of this half. And also, the Renegades did not have themselves the pistol and follow up 2 rounds to assist them with it. That should be the important note here as well, is that Denial have been helped out quite a bit by their pistol round victories. You know, obviously the 2 rounds from the pistols themselves, that brings Denial down to 11, and Renegades up to 15, or excuse me, 14. Now that's hard if that had gone the other direction, but you also have to consider the 4 follow-up rounds from that as well, which would have made this score drastically different had those have swung over towards the Renegades. In fact, if they did swing over to the Renegades and every other single round had gone the same way, obviously no guarantee that it did, Renegades probably would have already won this map had those pistols have gone the other direction. But it is a quick pause, and we will jump back into it here now. And Denial need to start winning out these rounds, but they decide that this is not the round where they're going to pitch a tent and try to fight out here. They are only going to go for just a half bye this time around. But that's not to be stated that they can't actually win on a round like this either. These rounds have been pretty weak from them, but with the 5.7s, I almost never want to say that there isn't a chance, as these are some dangerous guns. And these pistols can do work. Even at like medium range, these things are very capable guns. And to account for that, everything is dead quiet on the map right now. with the Renegades not wanting to take any risks at all. Even Nexa down in the pits is being very cautious. Held on the ladder until about the 110 mark there, where he finally jumped down and revealed himself there. But with them not being able to catch anything towards the lead up to short A, they fall back in its entirety. And now, well, Azure is going to try to get some work done against XP3, but there you go. There's the first kill with the 5-7. He did get dinked down to 14, but he found that first kill. They can't get too distracted by this one player, though, as that was a lone man. The rest of the team is about to push their way in through Monster and take free control of the B bomb site. So Dapper needs to be paying attention to this, and he's shifting his gaze back and forth. And I think they're starting to catch on to it here now. But XP3 hopping around is only going to give him away, so he gets knocked out. That could be a bit of a... That could help them out a little bit, though, losing XP3 there, because now they might assume it's relatively safe. And, yup, Dapper does go in for the spray on his pistol, but he can't actually lock down where the bomb is being planted at, so it doesn't get anything with the 5-7. And now forced back. JKS on the What was that from Rico? That flick on the JKS? Rico should have been a dead man there. Nifty did trade onto him, but still, 3v3, there's absolutely a chance here for Denial still. Losing Flowsick, losing Toy, that chance will go away pretty quickly. And finally, Nexa takes down Daps, and the Renegades do claim themselves a 13th round, tying it up. That flick from Rico, though, on the Nifty, I think it was. Just a 90-degree slap to Nifty's face. It is not Daps. I got confused by that too. It's a different player. For those that were asking about that. But it's all come down to these 1 or 2 last gun rounds, as the Renegades now get to continue their streak forward up to 6 rounds at this point. And Denial on the full losing bonus. Well, they're going to get to have a little bit more fun with their money. We do see the double op setup coming in now, as not only XP3 is going to work with it anymore, but Dapper is also picking it up too. Utility's still a little bit like for Denial though, as they have just your basic smoke setups and whatnot, and then only 2 Molotovs. I was expecting them to be a little bit better off with that, but I guess the double op setup kind of killed the extra utility. Mollies have always proven to be super useful on this map too. You can never really have enough of them here. There's so many spots you can molly players out. Speaking of which, there's one right there. Small, just delay there with the molly, however, not anything huge, but oh, Nifty back in it again with the shots. Quick peek out and then take it on XP3. I think he saw him on that second jump he did right before he peeked out to the side. And now, moving in, there's one trade, now a second trade from the CT side. Both have been traded back, though, bringing this down to a 3v2. And the only thing, as Dapper tries to stay quiet here, hold on. Let's see how he can play out. Oh, no, gave himself away. There was a moment of doubt there for the Renegades that maybe there wasn't anyone sitting there, but they did realize it after he took the shot, and that for sure sealed it. They had the flank from Flowsick too, so I was kind of hoping that Dapper would have just stayed quiet for another 5 to 10 seconds. And then once Flowsick made some noise, he could have busted out with the op and done some work. But no, not going to happen. And now the Renegades have come back all the way from behind here. And now end up taking the lead away from Denial. 14-13. Only 2 more rounds for them needed to close out on map number 1. And also steal away the map pick from Denial. Which is probably the more important point to note here. Renegades started off really poorly in this map. Did come back towards the end of the half, and a similar thing is happening here in the second half. After a 5-round streak that left Denial up at 13 rounds, but Renegades themselves, I think, have run 7 straight at this point. Yeah, almost 8 now. 7 rounds straight in order to come back and now take the lead. Boy, we can hold from him along with Rico. They are able to finally have some success early on in the round here. JKS looking to trade it back over there. However, he's not going to find anything at this point in time. It's a 3-man stack at A-long. And you're probably not going to get much going there. They do try to take it towards the other site, and it's the second player outside of Monster that throws Nifty off. Daps, or I said it, Dapper, surprising there. And oh, Dapper was getting the double lineup. He did tag the second player, I believe. So brought JKS down to 34 HP. But JKS now tossing out the smoke. Trying to throw off his opera if he can. However, JKS doesn't really have a whole lot of options here. He does have the bomb, thankfully. So he doesn't have to worry about that. But now he's been spotted. They know he's here. Man, he's completely surrounded. So XP3 is going to close out. And there's the traded back around finally from Denial. Tying it up at 14-14. Still doesn't leave Denial with a whole lot of cash, though. Even after winning out that round, at most, these guys are sitting at like 3,700. So for the players that died, these full rebuys are going to be a little bit rough. Thankfully, teammates seem to be helping out okay with it, so the money spreads out nice and evenly. But the Renegades have no problem rebuying. They have that 7-round streak to build on. So, buying in for this round. And I think the next one, they're still going to be full bot too. Yeah, easily full bot in the next round. And maybe even the round after that. So, if there is a round after that, that is. But anyway, getting back into the fight. Nexa wasting no time pushing up on this round over here. And the door, oh man, didn't even pay mind to the door opening. SP3 just swings that thing open and pops off Nexa. So goodbye to him. And goodbye to those balloons. This Flowsick, he's going to be left out a little bit disoriented due to the flashes, but nobody checking this other hallway, or at least they didn't initially. So another 1-for-1 trade, and that's not what the Renegades need in their current shape. They need clean kills like that from Nifty, taking out Daps. That's exactly what they want to be picking up here. Try and bring things back down into an even 3v3. Toy, though, patience. A huge virtue for him, as he is able to line up another kill against Nifty, and that's the bomb now dead on the ground. JKS has to go on a recovery mission. He actually should be able to get the bomb back relatively easily. It's just trading that kill into Toy, which is going to be a little bit more difficult, or even getting away from here. And elsewhere on the map, well, Azur's hopping around. Flowsick, I think, missed the note on that one, so I don't believe he's going to have an easy opportunity to kill Azur here, despite seeming like he may have had that chance. It's a very awkward setup of players across the map in general right now. With Toy at party, and oh no, caught Azur without a gun out. Just as he was getting ready to leap forward and try to regroup. So now all that's left alive is JKS sitting in the party. He does finally circumnavigate there around Toy to get him for free. But look at the time. This is the other problem. Only 15 seconds left for JKS to get onto a bomb site and find the plant. And going downstairs here, you may actually have to fight one of these last players left alive before getting him. There we go. Dodges the shot from XP3. Now he's got to kill him. He has to kill him and plant this bomb. He's going to use the molly to block off the path, get behind the pole, and go for it, but XP3 doesn't care. Just walks right up. He did get the plant at the very least, so guarantees that little bit of extra cash flow. Didn't need it, and oh, that molly spread, too. How did that thing spread all the way over there? It seemed like it was tossed super far out, but I guess not. That would have been interesting if the molly spread a little bit earlier. But indeed, Denial finally comes back here and now ends up with the lead going into the last round of regulation. And the Renegades do obviously end up with another fully bought round because of how much cash they stacked up throughout this half. So the Renegades have to go for OT if they want to claim map 1 and steal Denial's map pick. Otherwise, Denial is going to be looking at a map 1 victory and potential setup for a 2-0 as our next map is Cash. That is Renegades' pick, but I am fine with calling that map anyone's game, considering it's Cash. But it's going to be nice and slow yet again from the Renegades here. So they're not going to commit themselves into any site early on here. Nifty still looking from way, way back here for his opening pick in Monster. Denial slowly have kind of learned their mistakes. They're still giving a pick to him at Monster every once in a while, but not nearly as much as was happening earlier on in the half here, where he was just getting them for free time and time again. It's not going to be too surprising if we continue to see the Renegades want to waste down this timer, even towards like 25 seconds or lower. They've already done that quite a few times. They're a team that's not afraid to execute with very low time on the clock. And it seems like this is going to be one of those rounds. They need to go earlier than like 30 seconds, though. Like, this is super late, and they haven't killed anyone on Denial yet, nor do they even know the positions of the CTs on the sites. So this is a blind push with 30 seconds left, and kind of as expected, it's not going very well. Yustillo now left as the last man standing in a 1v4. He's going to try to make his best attempt at this one. Got one, but he's already down very low. At now 1 HP, being randomly sprayed out by Toy from on top by Smoke. It's actually really good reads from Toy, and okay. Tapestry should have 100% ended it there, but he gets it on the repeak, so no harm, no foul. 16-14 is going to be the final score for map number 1. Denial does take control of it, and they are one more map away from being able to push themselves into the semifinals of this qualifier. Perfect stuff from Denial there. Almost a little bit of a slip-up at the end, letting the Renegades run that retake. But they definitely controlled it for the majority of this first map. Our second map is going to be over on Cash. Ladies and gentlemen, do stick with us, and that should be coming up. I'm going to guess in about 5 minutes here. We don't have a guaranteed time for you, but it's essentially as soon as the players load into the second map and have readied up. So about 5-ish minutes, and we'll start the second map.